Alright everybody, welcome back to another video where I try to find a way to talk about the same weapon again. In this video, we're going to be talking about the top 3 exotics. However, it's a little bit more of a different scenario here. We're going to be talking about the best one in each slot, meaning the best exotic in the kinetic slot, the best exotic in the energy slot, and then of course, the best exotic in the heavy slot. Of course, depending on your build, your exotic's gonna have to take away that specific slot. However, we're gonna be talking about in general usage, practicality, and overall, if you just had to ask any random guardian in the tower or on the street if they're homeless, that would suck. Sorry for you if you are. What's the best exotic in X slot? This is what people are gonna answer, or at least what I'm gonna answer, and it's my video. So that's the answer. With that being said, we do have a sponsor for today's video that's sole purpose is to help you get games at a cheaper price. If you are looking to get your games for a cheaper price, then I got the place for you. Instant Gaming is the place to be. Think of them as the online retailer for getting your games for a cheaper price. It's not a marketplace like G2A websites. Instant Gaming is legit as they buy large quantities from suppliers, which allows them to sell the game keys for a much cheaper price. Each key is directly from the supplier, so you know you're not getting jibbed of your money. They support all platforms in PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. So they're bound to have a game that you definitely want and you can get for a cheaper option than you would for the standard price. And on top of that, they are doing monthly giveaways where they give you guys a free game of your choice if you win. So if you want to save money on your games or enter a giveaway for a free game of your choice, go ahead and check the 2 links at the very top of the description. And a huge shout out to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Now we're actually going to begin with the heavy slot because most of the time you're generally not going to be using an exotic in the heavy slot. Especially right now, the main damage meta is rockets. You got everybody in a well, you're just sending rockets at the boss. Of course, LMGs are great, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Thunderlord is the best exotic in the heavy slot. Although it's kind of fucking good. I was really tempted to put Tractor Cannon here because it's the only 30% debuff you can get from a weapon nowadays. However, at this current moment in time, I feel like it was only respectable. Put in the G-Horn. Come on. Come on. First of all, the Gjallarhorn is a classic, right? It's been dominant since D1. This was the boss making strat way back then. Everybody just has a Gjallarhorn. Obviously, these days, you only need one person in your fire team to run it. Everybody else can just run a legendary rocket launcher and an exotic somewhere else. Which is why I was saying, like, generally, for the most part, your exotic slot's not going to be occupied by your heavy. But even when it's not, your legendary rocket launcher is getting buffed by an exotic heavy. And look, I love my Xenophage as much as the next guy does. But it ain't buffing your other legendary LMGs, is it? Tell that when you get the Catalyst, you just slap on another freaking rocket in the magazine. Free clown cartridge. Also, for what it's worth, this thing's a beast at clearing out rooms. Catalyst does allow for final blows with the Wolfpack rounds to spawn a faster, more powerful missile at the target's location. So, like, it's really good at clearing out big waves of, like, real chunky ads, even yellow bars, where, like, something like even a wave frame would struggle just a little bit. And it's really good in solo play as well, like, if you're doing solo lost sectors, if it's overcharged rocket or solar burn. My bad, solar threat, Gjallarhorn will be there for you. And for all that I mentioned, that's why I have Gjallarhorn as the best exotic heavy. Alright, I spent a little bit longer on the heavy part than I thought I would, so we're gonna make the energy slot a little bit quicker. Truth be told, I was really only thinking of 3 weapons for this. 4th Horseman, Merciless, and Divinity. And while that 4th Horseman is insane at melting healthier targets, I can't call it the best energy exotic. And look, as a fusion rifle stand, I was so close to putting Merciless in the slot. But for all intents and purposes, I have to put Divinity here. I have to. Best overload stunning weapon in the game. Gives you a free crit spot and a 15% debuff. What's not to like? On top of that, we now have the Cenotaph helmet for Warlocks, which literally makes the Divinity able to spawn heavy for you now. Okay. That's insane. Definitely the most difficult exotic to attain out of the 3 that we're going to be talking about today. But there's a good reason for that. Even after its nerf, Divinity provides still so much utility. And it's still used in high-end PvE to this day. So for that, I have to give it the best energy exotic. And now that brings us to the kinetic slot, which honestly has the most competition. The 3 main weapons that I was looking at were Izanagi's, Arbalest, and Witherhoard. And that's for some thinking and number crunching, aka looking at my kill tracker, for all of these weapons. And let me be frank, you could say any of these and make a very strong case. But as a Warlock main, I'm gonna say Witherhoard, the best seasonal weapon that they've ever made. And this gun will literally never go away. It still finds itself used in so many builds, damage rotations, anything. You know why? Because it is the easiest weapon to apply a damage over time effect, and its catalyst gives it, I believe, 40 handling and auto-loading holster, so it makes it a perfect swapping weapon. Absolutely perfect. Y'all remember last year when Starfire Warlocks were running around crazy? What was the #1 gun that everybody was using on that build? The witherhoard. Y'all know the new Strand Warlock OP damage build that just cranks out absurd amounts of damage? You know what's the crucial exotic weapon for that build? Witherhoard. Entirely different subclass and entirely different build, and Witherhoard is still the most important exotic for that damage rotation and setup. It's really good at clearing out adds as well, because it just leaves a pool of takenness on the floor that enemies can walk into. It can combo with Malfeasance to make the Malfeasance proc against any enemy that's tagged with the Witherhoard. It's a gun that's literally never going to be bad in any situation. Like, if you were new to the game, right, and you have this exotic, and you're doing like a raid for the first time or a dungeon for the first time, and you just have no idea what exotic to put on, you could just slap on a Witherhoard and nobody's going to question you. Like, it's just that gun. It's that type of a gun. Like I said earlier, though, you could totally argue that Izanagis or Arbalists could be in the slot. All three of these weapons are just absurd. And just about all of these weapons you combo with a legendary rocket launcher because somebody in your fire team has a Galahorn on. Shout out to the Gal. Other than that, though, guys, that is going to about wrap up the video. Let me know your list for this. Hey, that rhymed. And thank you for watching today's video. Consider subscribing, and remember to check out Instant Gaming if you want games for cheaper prices. Hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all be safe. We'll see you in the next one.